Now we're going to consider the other type of special 90-degree or right triangle, and that's the 30, 60, 90-degree triangle. And so we have the 30, 60, 90-degree triangle theorem, which tells us that the length of the hypotenuse, and of course we always want to locate where the hypotenuse is, it's directly across from the right angle, is 2 times the length of the shorter leg. Now, where's the shorter leg going to be? It's going to be the leg or the side opposite the 30-degree triangle. And then the length of the longer leg, and which is going to be the longer leg? The longer leg is going to be opposite the 60-degree angle. It is the square root of 3 times the length of the shorter leg. So in a 30, 60, 90-degree triangle, the hypotenuse is 2 times the length of the shorter leg, and the longer leg is the square root of 3 times the length of the shorter leg. So let's take a look at a couple of these and see if we can use these properties of the 30, 60, 90-degree triangle to determine the length of the sides. Now, so here we have a triangle on the left. It's labeled 3A. We've got the angle measurements here, and I'm first going to locate my hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is across from the right angle, so it's represented here by y. And I know that it's going to be 2 times the shorter leg. Now the shorter leg, of course, is opposite the 30-degree angle. And it's labeled here as X. We're going to consider this as S. And the longer leg, which we do have a measurement for, which is 12. We don't know the units, but it's 12. It is opposite the 60-degree angle, and it is S times the square root of 3. So if we know the length of the longer leg, and it's defined as S the square root of 3, and it's also 12, and that S also corresponds to X, we can find X by setting this equation up, that 12 equals X, and we'll substitute X for S, times the square root of 3. Now, to solve for X and isolate the X, I want to divide both sides of this equation by the square root of 3, and that's going to give me 12 times the square root of 3, 12 divided by the square root of 3, 12 divided by the square root of 3, and that's going to equal X. And of course, I can't leave that radical in the denominator, so I'm going to rationalize it by multiplying 12 square root of 3 by square root of 3 over 3. So we got 12 square root of 3 times square root of 3 over square root of 3. And then when we do that, then we're going to end up, initially at least, with, I'm going to move it over here, 12 square root of 3 over 3 equals X. And I see that I can simplify this because I got a 12 in the numerator, a 3 in the denominator, and 3 will go into 12 4 times. So the shorter leg, or X, is equal to 4 times the square root of 3. Now our hypotenuse, which we have defined as Y, is 2 times the length of the shorter leg, and we've just determined that the shorter leg is 4 times the square root of 3. So Y is going to be equal to 2 times the shorter leg, and that shorter leg is 4 times the square root of 3. And we're just going to simply multiply 2 times 4 the square root of 3, and now y is going to equal 8 square root of 3. So in this 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, where we knew the length of the longer leg is 12, the shorter leg is going to be 4 square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is going to be 8 square root of 3. Shall we do one more? Well, of course we shall. All right, let's see what we know this time. Okay. Well, we're going to locate our hypotenuse. So our hypotenuse is 10. This is a 60 degree angle that we've got identified. And the side opposite it is y. So let's say 10, the hypotenuse is going to be 2s. And y is s times the square root of 3. And our shorter leg, which is this angle here, has got to be 30 degrees. We got 90, 60, that's 150. 180 minus 150 is 30, so we know we got a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. X then is going to be equal to S. Well, let's see. Well, we know the hypotenuse, it's 10, so it's 2S. So let's see, if the hypotenuse, which is 10, is equal to 2s, and let's substitute x for s, then 10 is equal to, hypotenuse is equal to x times 2. Maybe I should write that 2x. And to solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 2. And when we do, x then is equal to 5. So the shorter leg is actually equal to 5. That's an S there, not a 5. All right, so 5. Now, then the longer leg is the square root of 3 times the length of the shorter leg. So y then is simply going to be equal to, so let's see, it's equal to x times the square root of 3. And we know that x is 5, so y is 5 times the square root of 3. So y is, and again, that's an s originally, 5 times the square root of 3. So when the hypotenuse is 10 in a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, the length of the shorter leg is going to be 5, and the length of the longer leg, which is the leg opposite the 60 degree angle, is 5 times the square root of 3. Shall we do one more? Shall we do one more? Shall we do one more? Sure, let's do it. All right, let's see what we know this time. All right, well, it's not too bad. Well, let's identify the hypotenuse, which is across from the right angle, and across from the 30 degree angle, we see a measurement of 21, and this is the shorter leg, or this is equal to S, not 5, but S, and that means that the hypotenuse is 2 times S. And this longer leg, the one across from the 60 degree angle, is S times the square root of 3. So you want to do x first, you want to do the hypotenuse first or the longer leg first? Hypotenuse first or the longer leg first? Hypotenuse first or the longer leg first? Let's do the hypotenuse first. So if x is equal to 2 times the shorter leg, and the shorter leg is 21, then x is equal to 2 times 21. Therefore, x is equal to 42. So this is, let's put this in another color. We'll put it in that little lighter blue. That's 42. And then y, in this case, is equal to the length of the shorter leg times the square root of 3. And the shorter leg is 21, so then y is equal to 21 21 times the square root of 3. And shazam, the length of this longer leg then is 21 times the square root of 3. So we've been able to find the lengths of the sides in 30, 60, 90 degree triangles using the 30, 60, 90 degree triangle theorem. Wow, I'm just absolutely amazed. Isn't it amazing how everything works? And who's responsible for all this working? It is the Creator himself.